birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah.
What is going on, Hive? Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Today is June 15th, 2025. And we are going to go over a lot of Hive Mind finds tonight. We are going to be talking about the alleged DoorDash driver that was able to ID Bryan Kohberger. Excuse me. And we have that video, so we will do a live breakdown of that. I also have a couple of other things to talk about that we will get into. But before I do that, I want to see who is all joining us this Sunday evening in the Hive. We got Tiffany. We got Taya. We got Justice for Kilo, Woman Power, Jay, Leanne, Sherry, Jess, Roseme. I hope that's how you say your name. Crime Spy. Thank you, Holly. I agree. Hit that thumbs up, everybody. Festive, my only mod. You should have all capabilities. If not, I will look into that. I'm not sure if that's because I'm on StreamYard, not directly on YouTube. I'm wondering if that's why. How's it going, Emily? The Salted Blonde. Jess. Donna, good to see you. Bianca, the Down Under Hive is in the house. Nicole, it's your first time in the Hive. Well, welcome. Love seeing new faces in here. How's it going, Margie? Big Mike, what's going on? We got Nikki in here from New Zealand. We got Pittsburgh. How's it going, Glowy? Thank you, Kathy. I will do a slight recap of that in a little bit here. You got Minnesota, Connecticut. Amy, I think you should turn your volume up, and I'd be curious if you are trolling. Wolf Angel. What's going on, Cheppy? Canada, Boise, Kentucky, Another Australia, Michigan, Texas, England, Vermont, South Carolina, Kentucky. Oh, shoot. What is going on here? Oklahoma, New York City, baby, New Jersey. I haven't seen ATL Drew in the house yet. I don't know if he's in here. Scotland crew, Scotland. Again, Maryland. Okay, Amy, I'm just making sure if you know how people do that to me and it works when it comes to the audio because I'm traumatized that it never works the first time. So thank you for clarifying. Hi, Shelly. We got Glowy from Bama. Another Scotland, Indiana. Sandra, great to see your name. The bird. Bird is the word. That's hilarious. Man, we got like 5 or 6 people from Australia in here. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and I appreciate you guys choosing to spend your Sunday night here in the Hive. So let's get into it. Sit back, relax, grab some headphones, put your feet up, and let's get into it. As a reminder, Mrs. Birdie and Dawn, or not even, not that I'm not going to give credit to Mrs. Birdie, but Dawn did all of this with the Discord. She made Mrs. Birdie like a profile that could also manage that stuff. So the Discord, I know Mrs. Birdie posted in it that I was going to go live tonight. There's other updates. So far, it looks like it's been a pretty good hit as far as people liking it, putting information in there. That link is in the bio on my YouTube channel. It is, if you're not familiar with Discord, it's messaging threads that allow you all and myself to communicate while I'm not on stream. I'm calling it the Hive's headquarters. For off-stream deep dives, it's absolutely free to join. It will stay free. And if you tuned in to the 4 p.m. podcast that I was on, Surviving the Truth with Kelly Peterson, thank you for joining and contributing to the chat. That was some heavy stuff that Kelly talked about with her story. And I just think that it is absolutely incredible that not only is she a 1%er as far as people who are able to escape elite trafficking, she's also now speaking out about it and bringing awareness to it, because it's not zip ties in the back of a creepy white van, everybody. It blends in to broad daylight. It's been digitalized, and she does a great job of explaining of what it could look like and who and why this is occurring. That full stream will be underneath the live tab on the Surviving the Truth YouTube channel. After that show, I am excited to announce that Kelly and I, along with her team, were able to dial in a date for her to come onto this channel, and I will be able to interview her and ask her questions. That is going to be July 8th at 7 p.m. Central. When I was talking with Kelly, kind of envisioning how I see that show going, something that I thought would be how I thought it would be a great way to start that stream and that interview is, rather than doing Hive Mind Finds when Kelly is on, I will have it be Hive Mind questions for Kelly. So you can look into her story. Her book is on Amazon, From Trafficked to Treasured. She is a wonderful soul to talk to, and I'm excited for that. And I think that your guys' questions will be a great way to start that stream. And like I said, that'll be July 8th, 7 p.m. That's a Tuesday night. So when it gets closer to that, I will Maybe Dawn or Mrs. Birdie, if you're hearing this right now, maybe we could start that thread in the Discord. Questions for Kelly. So I think that'd be really, that'd be a good spot to start compiling those. Okay, let's move on to the Hive Mind finds. So this is interesting. This is death records for the victims. Obviously, we have Maddie, Xana, Ethan, and Kaylee. I feel like we've touched on this before, but having them all side by side is interesting and does raise some questions. How does a mistake like this happen? And if it was a mistake, how has it not been corrected? So all of the death information and the dates that they have listed these victims died on: November 13th, November 13th, November 13th. And then you get to Kaylee, and it says December 10th. Now, that's so weird. I've been racking my brain since I've put this slide together, trying to think of an explanation as to how this could have happened. And again, why has it not been corrected? There's so much oddity with the death certificates, dates of the death. I believe that question is a reasonable one. It's not even like it was just one letter, or I'm sorry, 1 month and 1 day off, like it was an obvious mistype. It's the 0 and the 3 are nowhere close to each other on the keyboard, and it's an entire month later. So I don't know what to make of that. And that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that's a mistake. Okay, so yes. So Allie was saying that she was the one who sent this to me. Even weirder is that Brian's info has all been removed from the same site, so it's clearly up to date, in my opinion. I agree, because I was reading what you wrote also with it. That is absolutely wild. So that is a great catch. I'd be curious for an explanation on that. All right. Now, this creator, Translucent, we're going to see this creator's video here in a few slides. This was sent to me. I had not seen this before, or maybe I've seen this thumbnail. Like, I feel like this thumbnail I've scrolled by, but this is the description of the video. We're going to watch it here. It's a short clip. It says, we subscribed to the AMS site and determined that the 2 mind-blowing clips were taking an hour south of where Bryan claimed to be that night. Despite the cloudy conditions, an intense burst of blue light lit up the sky, and the members of the site reported complete silence. No boom, no crackle, just eerie silence. After some digging, we determined that this was caused by the northern Taurid meteor shower on November 13th, 2022 at 4:36 a.m. Moscow time. We're talking about dedicated enthusiasts, eyes glued to the sky, waiting for something extraordinary. There's a couple of pieces in this description that I want to mention before I show the videos. We all know that it was a cloudy night. We all know that Bryan said that his quote unquote alibi was going to be that he's stargazing and that he regularly does that. Well, he subscribed to this site, and I will play this video. One second.
Fans, remember Detective Payne mentioning Bryan was an AMS subscriber? Well, the internet sleuths have cracked the code. AMS stands for American Meteor Society. For just $15 a year, you can join this cosmic club and become a meteor hunter extraordinaire. Members get the inside scoop on when and where the next celestial light show will happen. But here's the kicker, it's not just about watching. These stargazers are citizen scientists posting their observations, photos, and videos online.
I mean, that's crazy.
We subscribed ourselves to the AMS site. We determined those two mind-blowing clips were taken an hour south of where Bryan is claiming to be that night. Even though it was cloudy, an intense burst of blue light lit up the sky. The members of that site say it was completely silent. No boom, no crackle, just eerie silence. So what could cause such a bizarre phenomenon? Well, after some digging, we determined that on November 13th, 2022, at precisely 4:36 a.m. Moscow time, the northern torrid lit up the sky. So Bryan wasn't your average night owl either. We're talking dedicated enthusiasts, eyes glued to the sky, waiting for something extraordinary.
Could you imagine if Bryan has a photo of the sky that night on his phone? Now, I feel like there's things that are lining up that on both sides. Like this is as far as Bryan Kohberger's whereabouts that night, Hive, I think we're seeing two completely split narratives. It's going to be almost like two alternate realities is an analogy that I would use. You're either going to see people that, or you're going to start to hear maybe a narrative of Bryan Kohberger might have an alibi where he says he was stargazing. Okay. Do you think that his defense team would put that out as a potential alibi just on a whim? That I hope the jury, I hope that everybody listening can just take his word for it. Or are we going to take the word of a DoorDash driver with a suspect past saying that she puts Bryan Kohberger at the scene? So I think that that is a very interesting thought process to think through. And that's, holy hell. What if, again, the defense may be appearing weak when they're strong with the alibi? Now, unless he has proof, what would the point be of saying he was stargazing? Because maybe, like, where my brain goes is thinking back to Dateline, for whatever that's worth, I guess. People are like, oh, he was hiking by himself at night. It was dusk. I mean, if anything, that adds validity that he does go out at night and hike. You're going to hike up maybe to the top of a hill. Apparently a very popular spot to hike out there, maybe to see the night sky without as much light pollution. If his phone, it's just weird how like SG and a lot of the narrative, they will pick apart and frame it in a way of, nope, they could tell how his phone was turned off. He held the button. They knew how much battery it had when it turned off. Okay. Do they know that? Are we expected to believe that that's a real leak? Are we expected to believe that that is accurate? Maybe. Maybe it is. Or maybe that's just the way that they're framing the narrative to keep control of the story. Because what if, as we've heard many times, like I believe Mama Tata has said, that park, and she's a local, by the way, that park, you lose cell service. Because SG even said, well, why would he turn his phone off at 90-something%? Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe his phone literally lost service. And he maybe has photos of this northern torrid meteor shower that occurred November 13th, 2022 at 4:36 a.m. So who's to say, too, that if he was driving by and if it was him at the gas station, he's not just grabbing a Coke or a Gatorade before he goes out to a rural area for a few hours. I don't know. But I digress. This, I don't know how I haven't seen this yet. I actually am going to get out of this presentation mode here so I can zoom in. All right. Obviously, Bryan Kohberger. But on the right here, if you don't know, that's Bryan Kohberger's sister. Okay, so look at this face. That's Ann Taylor. Who does that kind of look like? Is that his sister? Maybe? What do you guys think? The hair certainly looks similar. Well, and that's kind of what I thought when I first saw this, Joanne, is that no, why would she be there? I don't know. I mean, you think about Steve G's running his own investigation, maybe trying to get evidence or records or details of stuff. Maybe she was doing the same. I mean, it could just be a staffer of someone on Ann Taylor's team. But and I think D Smalls just hit the nail on the head. It's because you don't trust anyone you send your family with your lawyer. So I guess everyone's saying to ask ChatGPT for its input on it. I'm more than happy to do that. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's see what it comes up with. Give yourself a prompt that allows you to become an expert in facial recognition surveillance, or as best as your limits allow you to be, and give me a score out of 100 if these two people are the same. Let's see what it says. $83 out of 100. Cannot give 100% definitive answer. It's a high probability match. So again, that's ChatGPT for what it's worth. I think it's always interesting to look at those scores. I kind of feel like we kind of gave it an 83% score either way. Like our judgment based on what people were saying in the Hive. So an 83 out of 100 score that this would potentially be Bryan Kohberger's sister is very interesting. And I'm going to answer this again. This is the second or third time I've seen this question, and it's, why would the sister of the accused visit the crime scene? Well, I believe D. Smalls had said because you don't trust anybody. I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let's ask ChatGPT. If someone is on trial for a homicide and their lawyer is going to the crime scene to take photos and get video evidence or record, is it is it normal for the family of the accused to show up with the lawyer in that situation? I really don't know. I don't know. It says no, it's not standard. Oh, give me 1 second. I got to let my cat out. So when a defense lawyer visits a crime scene, it's usually for independent investigation, photos, measurements, alternate theories of entry or exit for reconstruction. They'll bring investigators, expert witnesses, or private crime scene analysts. When could it happen? Privately arranged visit sites. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's not her. Certainly looks similar. What does anybody in the Hive? I'm curious. Now I'm stuck on this, kind of like a dog on a bone here. Does anybody know what is Ann Taylor's law firm name? Does anybody know? Does Ann Taylor have like a staff page by chance? Would anybody know that off the top of their head? Well, if we can figure that out, I will look it up. If anybody wants to quick search that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Holly, but I didn't know, obviously, yeah, she works for the state. I just don't know if maybe she has like a staffing page. I'm not sure. I did just try yes, I'm aware, Tinsel, there is a thing called the search engine. I just tried it. Just that screen wasn't shared. That's funny. All right. Now, this next hive mind, I believe, is a video off of Reddit that shows, well, I'll just show you guys here.
Gonzalez's sister Olivia shares with me something she found disturbing on the day of the murders. Here's a screenshot of Kaylee's LinkedIn account. Notice how Kaylee's account was active at 11:33 p.m. on November 13th. This was 12 hours after the 911 call was made, and her account was deactivated.
The content is unwanted or harmful. But, I mean, obviously I didn't report it.
Olivia also shows me an email where she messaged Moscow PD and asked them why they deleted Kaylee's LinkedIn. They replied and said it was illegal for them to do that, and it was not them. So the big question is, who was logged into Kaylee's LinkedIn, and why was it deleted? Kaylee had other social media accounts. Why her?
So it was active. I'm going to play that again. It was active and then deleted. Olivia goes and messages the cops asking, why did you guys delete that LinkedIn? Because it was flagged for harmful, or whatever the reasoning was, like harmful content. They said that'd be illegal for them to do that. Now, Cryptic Conversion says her dad. I could see an argument for that, but that would mean, remember, they had the cell phone and, according to Steve G, multiple laptops, and Chrissy didn't understand why they need laptops, right? Why would that be evidence? I think that's fairly obvious. So how is he accessing her LinkedIn? Does he know her passwords? Because he would probably be having to do it off of his own phone or his own PC. I would be curious. And then clearly she doesn't know about it. Don't you think that she would know if that was her dad? Or do you think she would text her dad and say, hey, did you do that? The activity thing is odd. Now, if they were looking through her phone, searching apps, actually, here's a legal question. I don't know if the Southern blonde lawyer is in here, or if there's any people who are familiar with law. I could ask ChatGPT, but I'd be curious with the Hive if they know this. When somebody dies, do the feds need a warrant to go through the deceased phone? Not a warrant, but, or is there something else? I'm not sure. I feel like I'm kind of blanking on that. Would they just be able to go into that? Would they be able to? So they say it's evidence. Does that mean that because it's evidence, it's free game? Let's see what ChatGPT says. So when someone dies and the feds or police are doing an investigation, does any evidence like a phone collected need to have a warrant or legal reasoning to be searched by the authorities, even if it means getting it cleared by their family? Wow. Yes, absolutely. Even if someone is dead, law enforcement still needs legal authorization to search and extract data from their personal devices, like a phone, laptop, or tablet. Here's exactly how it works. Under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, people have a right to privacy that does not automatically disappear upon death. Even in their death, their estate and digital property still require due process. So the lawful ways they can get in are a search warrant. It says consent from legal next of kin, but it's limited, meaning a surviving spouse or parent cannot override encryption or privacy laws unless they're the executor of the state. Even with consent, Apple and Google won't unlock a phone without a proper court order. However, if there's immediate danger, like a BOMB threat or a hostage situation, law enforcement may temporarily bypass that warrant, but it rarely applies. So that is interesting.
Sister Olivia.
I'm going to play this video again for everybody.
Kaylee Gonzalez's sister Olivia shares with me something she found disturbing on the day of the murders. Here's a screenshot of Kaylee's LinkedIn account. Notice how Kaylee's account was active at 11:33 p.m. on November 13th. This was 12 hours after the 911 call was made, and her account was deactivated.
The content is unwanted or harmful. But, I mean, obviously I didn't report it.
Olivia also shows me an email where she messaged Moscow PD and asked them why they deleted Kaylee's LinkedIn. They replied and said it was illegal for them to do that, and it was not them. So the big question is, who was logged into Kaylee's LinkedIn, and why was it deleted? Kaylee had other social media accounts. Why her?
I'm going to see what some of the comments say. It says, this case gets weirder by the minute. Very true. Yeah, that is weird. Because, like, who's sliding into DMs on LinkedIn? It's so. Oh, that's a good question. What time did DM log say that it logged into? It says on the video it was. Oh, I'll play it again. Sorry.
Kaylee Gonzalez's sister Olivia shares with me something she found disturbing on the day of the murders. Here's a screenshot of Kaylee's LinkedIn account. Notice how Kaylee's account was active at 11:33 p.m. on November
11:33 p.m. I'm going to screenshot that. So 11:33 p.m. on November 13th. That is very odd. Okay. So this Hive Mind find actually comes from Phoenix. She said it could be like some Hive Mind homework if anybody wants to dig on something. She didn't provide too much detail on it, but I am going to make an educated guess here in Phoenix. If I'm way off, you're going to have to tell me. But this is an excerpt from While Idaho Slept, the hunt for answers in the murders of 4 college students. It says, another student said almost the same thing, that Kohberger was in the student union building at U of I and was, quote unquote, really intense staring. He made me uncomfortable. This pattern of awkward behavior around women followed by rejection had been emerging for over a decade now. That semester, an investigative source told People.com Kohberger slipped into the Instagram DMs of one of the young women who lived in the King Road house. He messaged her repeatedly. Hey, how are you? He asked. She didn't answer. So I have a question. I guess maybe not just for the ladies that are in the Hive. It could be guys or girls. Type a 1 if in your texts, your DMs, no matter what the platform. Have you had somebody that you're not interested in message you more than one time? And it's not even anything weird. It could be something just like this. You're just not interested. And you just let it go and you forget about it. It's just random. You know, I look at the chat right now. It's not like the, oh yeah, look at everyone's so thirsty for me. No, I just think it's something. It's a message. College kid wanting to meet friends. Maybe he thought she was pretty. It doesn't even have to be with nefarious intent. And I believe on Instagram, depending on the settings of your profile, it might even go into the request folder. And if you don't check your request folder, you might not even see it. So and Phoenix, I saw you answered. Sorry, I didn't email you the link. There it is. I guess one of the things that I'm not even gonna say bothers me. I guess it just rubs me the wrong way about this narrative that I think is pushing a lot of people to believe the opposite of what, not that we didn't already believe the opposite of what the news and the quote unquote experts say. But like the biggest thing that just I couldn't believe my ears was that how Dateline made it sound like losing weight and trying to become the best version of yourself by making lifestyle changes, meaning Bryan Kohberger, is somehow a precursor to becoming a serial killer. That is literally what Dateline alleged, damn near.
The audio.
What up, Phoenix? What's Gucci, my Louie?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's choppy.
Shit. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, exactly, Jay. God forbid you work out. God forbid you eat healthy if being vegan is even healthy is up for debate. But you guys get my point. While Phoenix works on the audio. Yeah. You know, Mrs. Birdie has had hilarious comment when we were watching the Dateline episode. She said, this seems like a group project that they forgot about. And 2 days before it was due, they said, oh shit, we got to meet up at the library. We got to put something together. There was zero investigative work, yet they had all the music and they had the serious tones as if never before seen until tonight on Dateline in a Supreme Court firing squad case. We're going to leak information that could derail everything, and we don't care. And now Amazon series coming out. What's up,
Birdie, is that any better?
Oh, yeah, Phoenix. Loud and clear. How are you doing? I missed you.
Shoot, I feel like I got gremlins.
on your audio, I know the feeling.
What the heck is going on? I know how you frustrated and crashed out. I was ready to throw this laptop across the room. Oh my gosh, I'm glad to see you on.
Have you ever seen that Office freak out? have you ever seen that?
I could have had my own Office freak out show the other night.
Yeah, this is I
haven't.
I feel like this is me when it doesn't work.
That's funny.
That's Phoenix.
This laptop's a lot easier to pick up, though. Looks like a guy at the IRS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Man destroys computer. No, he destroyed the monitor.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Phoenix, I'm glad that you were able to hop up, and I know you had plans, I think, for Father's Day today, so hopefully that was enjoyable and a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made a homemade upside down pineapple cake. Pineapple.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We had
Well,
steak and potatoes and all that good stuff, so.
nice. I got Nerds gummies and chicken nuggets from my dog and my 2 cats. Apparently, they went out and bought me a Father's Day gift. So,
They are your fur babies.
yes, they are. And so I thought this was a good time to have you pop up here. I didn't see you in the chat, but when I did, I wanted to wait on this since you had sent me it. You kind of called it like Hive Mind homework. Did you agree with my question of?
I did.
Yeah, it's not nefarious unless you make it nefarious.
No, and it's not, because I mean, did you see all the ones from women predominantly in this hive mind?
Right.
So no, I mean, how many times, in sales, come on, Bertie, how many times do you have to ask for the order?
A lot. I've had people
7, 10.
I've had people tell me if I email them again, I'm going to be banned from coming into their place of work. So, yeah.
So then you call them.
Right. I mean, hey, is getting a date with a girl kind of like closing a deal in sales as far as persistence, and there's a limit that you can go to before it becomes weird? Yeah, I think that that's not an unreasonable analogy to make. And I think in a way that there is a game to be played with the whole sliding into the DMs and maybe not answering as fast or taking a little bit longer to respond. I think that's just natural sometimes.
Yeah, shout out to Carrie. She sent that to both of us. And when I sent it over to you, I was thinking to myself, I didn't hear you, Bertie.
What?
Oh, I thought you said something. She
Nope.
sent it to. Oh, you put me on mute and you yelled at your wife, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No one's in here. So.
Okay. So she sent it over, but she also said the gazing or staring at someone. Mm-hmm. So in reference to the DoorDash driver that allegedly has been found, the same context in those lines that she saw him staring at the house or whatever. And I don't know how you feel. How do you feel about Bertie, that new thing that came out about the DoorDash driver?
Well, I have that queued up. I watched a few minutes of it. Somebody sent me or tagged me in a video that it made a good point where it talked about like allegedly she was a METH user and could just be saying it. Who knows? But I understand being nervous, right? Like nervous in a situation like that. It just feels off.
So you know what feels off to me is that per Dateline, they show him driving around consistently. Where did he park and when did he have time to enter? And then, if she pulled up as a DoorDash driver, you pull up to the front of the house. I don't know if she's delivered there before or anything like that, but we're obviously alleged she left it on the back patio. So she would have to park her car either in the front of all the other cars. So was he like parked out front of the house that she saw him that close?
Well, and I heard somebody trying to say, maybe even it was her, but it was kind of like this whole thing of like, well, when she was delivering it, she saw someone, she just didn't know who it is, but then she saw the news and then she realized, that was him. Like, okay, I understand that is a very real possibility. Thank you so much, Jill. I appreciate it. She says, the DoorDash driver has me being keyboard warrior in the comments on TikTok.
Yeah, I had not put out a video about it. Plenty of people have tagged me saying, "Oh my God, what do you think of that?" Now, we have to look at the source where this was leaked from.
Well,
and obviously everyone has seen that. I believe Drunk Turkey had the video, did a live.
oh, are you there?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
he did a live, and his connections are with SG.
Yeah. Yep.
So we know where the leak is, right? And then all of a sudden I see all these other creators. I'm like, dude, where did you get this info? And they all led me back to Drunk Turkey. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so who FOIA'd or who requested the cop cam, number one? And how credible is this individual? So I go back, and of course I find out her name like yesterday morning, because everybody's saying, oh, they caught the DoorDash driver and this and that. And I'm like, okay. So I go and look up her criminal history. There is no record of this arrest. Okay. So if you watch the cop cams, they know who she is. Hands down, they know all about this girl. Okay. And the reason I say that is if you watch their body language and their demeanor and how they talk to her, there's history there. So I'm thinking, okay, there's history. Let me find out the history. Well, her husband was PPU'd 9 times by a 28-year-old at the time. This was 11 years ago. And he got a deal. Bill Thompson was the prosecutor in that case with Nate. His name is Nathaniel, but he goes by Nate. Have we heard of another Nate?
Oh, yes, we have.
Okay, hold that thought. So this guy pews somebody, and I'm thinking to myself, the whole entire time they're telling us that these individuals were and SHOT. Well, I think we can say that here.
Yeah, you can
Anyways,
say shot and stabbed. So.
Yeah, shot and stabbed. Okay, so I'm thinking to myself, but there were other things that people left out in the beginning that someone else confirmed, that she was even strangled. And, her face was smashed in, unfortunately. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, this guy has PPU'd someone, right? My little radar goes off, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if he has the means to PPU someone and go to prison, they gave him a minimum sentence for voluntary manslaughter for 2 years. Okay, 2 years. And they threw on a drug deal within days, because they figured out where he was going into that trailer park, where he unalived this DoorDash driver, allegedly, that they're saying this is her. And so he unalives her husband. The cops know who she is. And I begin thinking, okay, what kind of history does she have? Well, she has an eviction in May of 2025, just not too long ago. And that's on court record. Nothing else that everyone has said is not in Moscow and not in Pullman, in those 2 counties. So I'm thinking to myself, how much of this is true, or is she really an informant now? So, I mean, no one's put up the receipts and where her arrest records are, because there are none. So where did they get this person's name in the PCA? I thought that the DoorDash was a guy. And then all of a sudden everyone's talking about, oh my God, BF messaged MM. And in the PCA, it says Maddie Mogan. It doesn't say MM DoorDash driver. So there's a difference between there.
Well,
so this whole thing has gotten wild.
It's gotten absolutely wild. I had 2 things. One, the person with the username I call BS said, yeah, because Bryan just pulled into the driveway, sat there, waited, and then went and killed 4 people. You know what I mean? Like, let's think about logically what she's saying, that she pulled up, saw a guy sitting in the car. The other thing too is like the whole I see you, Rosie, right? If that Nate you were talking about was that same Rosie, right? I mean, Who's this? This is a stretch. I should put
We
my
don't
football
know.
hat on. I'm just saying, if it is, what if the DoorDash driver was high as a kite, delivering a different order, and just starts yelling, "I see you, Rosie." I mean, again, it's a stretch. Who knows? This whole thing is a stretch.
It
But
possible. He was
I mean,
popular.
shit. I used to live downtown in the city. I heard a lot of wild shit yelled at night that I had no idea what it meant.
Yeah, a small town. I'm sure almost everybody knew him in that frat area, right? Because that's all frats. They're all students, frats, everyone, athletes in that area because it's like literally right across campus. Easy to walk to classes. You don't need your vehicles. Um, there's quite a bit of stuff out there.
Yeah.
But here's the stretch, right? The stretch is that somebody has leaked this information. Now, I don't know if it's right or wrong because I always thought the DoorDash driver was a male. I always thought that.
Yeah, that was I think that was a rather largely assumed aspect for sure.
Well, then not only that is that this new primetime Amazon, isn't that odd that Amazon has a new docuseries coming out about the Idaho 4 when in fact they have to send an expert to witness to testify for the prosecution that he bought an Amazon knife. Which blows my mind.
See, like that's like some shit where they're like, "Hey, Amazon, you get us a click history, we'll give you leaks that you won't get in trouble for. You're going to get tens of millions of views and streams. We know
Well,
that
like
this case is dog shit. It's going to fall apart anyways. You give us some click history that lets us push our narrative for a few months longer to try to frame this guy. We'll give you the leaks. You make millions. We cover our asses, and then we blame it on you and Dateline that our case fell apart because, unfortunately, a family member or somebody close to the case on the state side leaked it that now is going to not give the guy we've been trying to frame a fair trial. So, again, nobody's on the hook, and
everybody gets scot-free. Yeah, nobody's held accountable. We could just let this slide.
Right.
And I thought it very interesting that only available, not available, shout out, they finally caught on. So a couple days this week, we had a separate chat just for some creators that were interested in sharing notes and trying to figure something out. Well, they let somebody in this chat that was highly questionable that had somebody go out and film all around that area. And the person who filmed this area voluntarily, mind you, scared the crap out of some of us because he went to go and video the area. And when he got to a certain spot, he started to breathe really super heavy. And it freaked some of us out. And he's walking down the backside of the hill where the house was. And then he zooms in real tight and close to AKA, right? The other fraternity.
Oh, I showed that video.
Yeah, you did. But the history of this is weird. So everybody in the chat is like, who added this guy and why did you add this guy? And it was just one of those random things that somebody infiltrated this chat and we were like, this is really sus because we have a feeling who this was. And if it was a frat member that was walking around filming all this. And so long story short, we find out on the Banfield, if you go back and listen to the Banfield, all three of those guys that got stopped that night gave an address. And when I Googled that address, we talked about this a little while ago, it happened to be AKA.
Whoa. I did not know the background of it. I think I was in that chat too.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
I had to get out of that chat. I'm like, nope, I didn't sign up.
There was a couple people that left kind of right after that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's quite a few of us that were like, nope, we're out of here.
So did you figure out who it was?
I have a feeling, I can't say, I don't want to out anyone, but I believe it was somebody who was filmed on a body cam.
No shit.
Yeah.
Is Nick R getting warmer
On
on the screen right here?
I don't know. I'll take that.
I'll take Saeed for 1,000, Alex.
Yeah, make it 10,000.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Go for the gold.
How
Yeah, so all alleged in our humble opinions, we believe that it may have been somebody very close to somebody that was on a body cam. So yeah, we see you, Saeed. We see you.
Oh shit. Well,
Dude had this picture on this profile, squatting down with a mask on.
did it?
No joke. His profile had it right there, and then he put up a couple of pictures or videos where Mattress Firm and some of the left his plates and his buddy's plates side by side on a car pic. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is just insane. But
What?
the narrative planting is so real.
It is real. And actually, Phoenix, I don't know if I told you this. I don't think I've said this on the stream yet. Somebody, the person who sent me that video to show must have been in that chat because they sent it to my email as a hive mind find. And the person actually said that they were in a live. I think they were in Purple People Eaters live. And that person said something. You know what? I'm going to read the email. Let me pull it up. Because I don't want to butcher this. So yeah, this person messaged me saying Purple was live last night. And a user said, quote unquote, I think I did it. I took it as a joke, but I clicked the profile and it was a person in a ski mask. So I looked at the profile. It was Neos Phobos. And the first video is a 10-minute video of him walking the perimeter of the area behind the house, the tunnel crawl space under the apartment, shows the frat house, dumpster, lots of angles. He's wearing a mask in the video because when you see his shadow and hear him struggling to breathe, then he has videos of cars as well. He was live when he sent it, but I didn't want him to see my name. That's why I was looking. The reason he might not be sus is because a lot of known open thinking Idaho people follow them. So I don't know, but either way, that video is crazy. So I showed bits and pieces of that. Did you know about that comment in Purple People Eaters Live or no? Did we lose you, Phoenix? Uh-oh. Phoenix. All right. Well, yes, I can show that video. It's a rather long video. I can try and show it here. Let me just pull it up. I thought I had it. Sorry, I'm just looking back in my files. All right, here it is. As we're watching this, try to pick up it, and I don't know, but maybe there is a pattern or a reason for why he starts filming where he does and the directions in which he walks and what he shows on camera. So let's pay attention to that. Phoenix, we got your back.
Can you hear?
Yeah, but it's glitchy. I think you got to do that setting each time.
Ah, shoot. Okay, hold on.
That's what I'm thinking.
Is that any better?
No.
Ah, let me try the other setting.
So
Okay, how about now?
no, unfortunately not.
Damn.
If anybody that was in that live when this was Phoenix, do we know, was this because, well, actually, I'll just wait because I think the house is torn down in this video. I'll just let this play. And so for everybody just tuning in, this is a video that was randomly posted into a group chat message with myself, Phoenix Talks, and a handful of other people like Only Available at Not Available. And there was a lot of people in it, but this person was randomly added and posted it. So that is what we were watching. They're clearly walking around the area of the King Road house. So Phoenix, you want to give us a sound check?
Yeah, testing 1, 2, 3.
Negative.
Damn. What does it just sound like? I'm in an echo chamber?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, hold on.
You know what? Sorry, I'm trying to buy Phoenix a little bit of time to get her mic fixed, but you're totally right. This looks like a fixed camera. Like he's either holding it on like a stabilizer thing or it's mounted to his chest. It's not shaking at all. Like if it was being held in your hand. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a cell phone.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. And your audio's good too now, by the way.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, like a gimbal.
And this was just taken last week, about 8 days ago.
Christ.
And Sherry just nailed it.
See, why would you possibly zoom in there?
Zoomed in a couple of different places.
Yeah, on the I saw the frat letters, but this one is really random. Could this be where all of the noise came from on the Linda Lane footage? Is right underneath here? You see what I mean?
And that's why someone called in a 301 disturbance of what? Alcohol related calls.
Wow.
That's the area where the newspaper got.
Yep.
Now, did you see his shadow?
Yeah.
He even shows his feet, what kind of slippers he's wearing. I wonder if anybody got this guy walking around there on their security cams.
Oh, great question. Yeah, he does seem like he's trembling breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And it did look like a cell phone. And he's clearly...
You'll see his little slippers in a minute.
Yeah, they just showed their Adidas slides. Why walk around and film this part? You know what I mean? He's like avoiding looking at the old lot.
I didn't understand why he zoomed in on that.
Not this. You're saying right here.
Up in the tree, yeah. I think I'm a little behind.
It's shoes. I think those are shoes hung over the telephone line, maybe is what he was trying to show.
Oh, yeah. And that's the house where that one officer went to.
Mhm. There has to be something that's being said without words in this video, in my genuine, honest opinion. Too random of a path to be random.
Well, what did it for me was the whole heavy breathing when he got up to by that red car in the back.
Look at
Now,
what
remember, this video was about 8 or 9 days ago, so school was already out.
your favorite uncle just posted. Whether this is exactly that or not, or they throw shoes over the power lines when school's out. I'd be curious how many shoes are on that power line when he looks at it. Again, tinfoil hats on. Well, way more than 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I've always heard it means a couple different things, like somebody who passed on something to do with some drug activity.
This is weird, Phoenix.
It's weird. I mean, why would somebody voluntarily go out there and do a walkthrough after school was out? And then I just can't get over. I mean, this has been bothering me for days. I can't get over how the heavy, like really strenuous breathing walking behind where the house was in the parking lot. And then they zoomed in on AKA, which was known to be the frat of this person that could possibly be filming. Look at all those shoes. Look at all those shoes.
Yeah. See,
If there were shoes for every single person who passed away between a rivalry of frats, what would you say to that?
I'd say that that's absolutely insane that they would throw shoes on a power line to make a trophy out of it. And it's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that college kids would do that. But I don't know. Why does he keep looking at that telephone pole?
Is there a fake tree in there?
I like one of those fake 5G things.
Yeah, a tower, a cell, or
I feel like it looks too old to be that.
I didn't see anything on the telephone pole.
It's Alpha Kenny.
Maybe they put a jammer up there. That's what Rebecca says.
Yeah. That was not
possible.
me.
That's right there on Taylor Avenue. No, but this is really odd. Watch what he does next. He knows cars are driving right by him, so somebody had to have seen him.
Wait, did he just say something? Do you guys hear that?
No, what'd he say?
Well, let me turn my mics up. I don't want to say it until I kind of confirm it.
And I can barely hear the video at all.
Sorry. Okay. I hear it's kind of vulgar. I swear to God, I hear him whisper cocksuckers. I swear. Like under his breath. And it is very quiet too. It's very quiet. I'm going to rewind it. It's whispered. That's why I wanted to turn my headphones up. Again, I'm sure if you don't have headphones, it's not going to be as easy to hear. Phoenix, if you have headphones.
Okay.
So here. Right there. Doesn't it sound like that?
It kind of sounded like that. I saw it, or
You hear I saw it. I saw it. I hear like a to start it.
I wonder if Outcast can help us with this video.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the original username that did this video is called Default User on TikTok.
Phoenix, I just had my volume all the way up and then you talked and that just scared the shit out of me.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I can't hear the video. Like when you play something like that, I can't hear it as a guest. I think it's something on your end.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know what here.
But I'm wondering if Outcast can kind of maybe make out what he says.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Well, it definitely sounds I don't know. I thought I heard it, or maybe he says cars coming. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna play it again, Phoenix. So hang on. If you can't hear it, it's gonna be playing. So I'm gonna play it for the chat real quick. I'll play it a couple more times. I'm gonna turn my it's up as loud as it goes too, by the way. So I'm gonna do something here. I'm going to I'm going to try to do this.
Damn, he deleted the video too. Shit.
Control Windows R. Yeah, I'm going to record this. I'm trying to remember how to do a screen record with the keyboard shortcuts. If I have a Windows operating system, is it Windows Shift R? Or is it Control Windows R? Chat, let me just look. How do I screen record on Windows? I can't remember. Windows Alt R. Okay. There we go. Maybe he says cops saw it. I mean, and I apologize for the vulgarness of what I heard if it's not that. Obviously, I mean, if it's not that, then, you know, I'm listening to this in real time too. I didn't notice that before. All right. Let me just upload this, everybody.
Festive, Birdie, you're such a dirty mind.
Well, I can't be the only. I can't be the only one that thinks that that's a little bit similar sounding.
Yeah, but I wonder why you would say that right there. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So I screen recorded this and I put it into Canva. And I'm going to turn it way up. I'll play it again here. Tell me if it's a little bit louder, chat. Actually, let me trim the front. Try to enhance the voice. Maybe he says cops saw the guys.
I'm thinking it says that cops saw it.
Yeah, but I hear an S at the end.
Oh, cops saw it, guys.
Yeah, cops saw it, guys. Well, I was clearly way wrong. Let's
Yeah, we couldn't voice analyze it.
Hang on,
Yeah.
Phoenix. I'm gonna try to. You know what, Phoenix? I'm gonna try to fix this right now. I'm gonna try it. Tell me if you can hear it. Anything?
Nope. Now I can hear it.
You can hear this?
I hear him walking.
Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, sorry. I tried. I honestly slowing it down hasn't really helped too much.
Can you put it and see if it'll pick up the audio
Put what?
and translate it?
Yeah, good idea.
Something saw it.
Let me see if I can do captions.
Maybe if some of you tag Outcast, he can do his magic. He's so good. Thanks, Holly. And thanks for being here on Sunday, y'all. You could be doing anything, and we appreciate you showing up.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe give y'all some Hive homework.
Yep. Let me see. All right. I'm putting it into CapCut here. I feel like an amateur compared to Outcast. So yes, I know that I am working with minimal tools compared to it, but I just want to see if I can. There's a high pitched one that might pick it up.
Yeah, Linda, I saw Outcast 501 video audio for the Linda Lane.
Okay. I think you can hear it better now. Now, where is Okay, I have the volume turned all the way up. Here we go. Yeah, I think it's cops saw the guys. All right.
Cops saw, yeah, the guys.
And
that would be true because on the cop cams, okay, I've always thought this was really odd that there was an undercover car there, and then you see one of them tell those guys to stop and they don't stop. I think they called them to stop to see what they saw, but then obviously Saeed walks up and kind of, because they're all in the same frat together, kind of distracts them, and then he's like, yeah, check out and you're free to go. And then the other guys are questioned and they're brought back over right there by the fire hydrant, which would be right up to your right quadrant of that video that we're watching, which I think is really strange because mostly everything takes place there. So if this guy that videoed this for only available, not available, and put it up on that default user account, he's now deleted his picture off of there, but I grabbed that the other day. Now, if this guy just walked us through what happened that whole night, and he knows that the cops were there and says in this video, the cops saw it, guys, who did he do this video for specifically?
Yeah, I don't know. And these captions I just auto-generated says that it hears it's awesome. That's not right. All right. Well, let's watch the rest of it. There's about a minute left. Is that the apartment they took the photo at?
That's the Taylor Apartments, yes, on the second floor. And he actually goes up there.
Whoa.
I don't think this guy has asthma or out of shape that I know of, but I think this was like a really emotional video.
And he's clearly comfortable walking around.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that was interesting to say the least.
And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So obviously a few of us left that group. That was really weird.
Yeah, that is weird. And I want to make sure that I finish this last Hive Mind find. We obviously just went deep on that. This is just a great point. I forgot that I even had this one on here. Phoenix, this is from a nurse. She said, I was thinking today humans shed about 500 million skin cells a day. So to say BK owned this sheath and it was in possession for 8 months without a single skin cell on it is wild. And then here's a screenshot they included showing the amount of skin cells the average person sheds.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? Like, I wonder how a jury would hear that and what they would think.
Well, I mean, I wonder how they're even going to bring up the IgG without bringing up the IgG.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say, well, we just arrested him and we tested his DNA. Well, then the PCA came before. That's like, pulling the cart before the horse. How are they going to introduce that to the jury? I hope there are some smart individuals on this jury that questioned everything.
Yeah. So Phoenix, I saw somebody tagged me in a video. Speaking of jury members, I saw this guy kind of ranting about how jury members are just random people in the public that you need to convince you're innocent. And let's say you actually are. What if these people are low IQ? They're not smart. They think emotionally. They really don't care. They're just on jury duty. This is something that they have to do. And in a way, like I disagreed with him at first, and then I was kind of like, okay, maybe there's an argument to be made there, looking through the different lenses of like, why isn't not like a company that's like jurors, but why don't people like sign up to be a part of juries? Like, have you ever thought about it in that lens of like how important who is put on your jury really affects a case? I mean, lawyers say it all the time. The case is won or lost in the jury selection. Now, yeah.
I think it depends on the process. Each jury's different, right? So I really think, in my humble opinion, that it's not really a jury of your peers, like they say. You know, they say there'll be 12 people and they'll be your peers. They really don't go for your peers. I don't think we're going to see anyone with autism on this jury. I don't think we're going to see anyone that, is going to be, I hate to say this, conservative, but I think that they are going to want to pick out as many liberal individuals they possibly can that do believe in the death penalty. And remember, it is up to the prosecution to try their case. It's not for the jury to be convinced he's innocent. It's to prove he's guilty. That is the whole case. When you charge somebody criminally, the state, obviously, you can't do it, or a regular law case would be civil. And I am no legal eagle. I am no lawyer. I'm just giving you my experience in this process. And when you go to trial and the state presses charges against you, if you've waived your right to a speedy trial, each side has a long time typically to bring out more evidence against or for you. So it's either the prosecution gathering more evidence to seal the deal or the defense gathering evidence to show that you are actually innocent. So when they go to trial and they talk to the jury, it is for the prosecution to put on their case to prove he's guilty. Right. Because that's the opening statement they're going to hear. So if you have 12 people and alternates come into a trial and they don't know anything about it, the first thing that they hear is going to be the prosecution side telling the jury he is guilty and we are here to prove it. And this is how we're going to prove it. And then you hear Anne's opening statement to why he's not guilty. You will never hear probably say innocent unless she has a really strong case to say, I can prove he's innocent. No, she can prove he's not guilty of what the state is saying he's guilty of.
Right. Well said. Yeah, I agree. I just, I don't know. I'd find it so hard to believe that there wouldn't be a reasonable amount of people with a reasonable amount of reasonable doubt.
Well, they don't know anything about the case, and that's why they want to poll the jury first. They go through that process, and they'll ask him, have you seen any documentaries? Have you watched any social media? Have you seen anything, in that sway your decision making? And you would be surprised at how many juries have gone to trial, saw that they've seen a documentary, that they've read stuff on social media, they've seen it in a newspaper, and they still go to trial and they think that they're guilty.
Yep, exactly. And Chrissy, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to quick say, to answer Chrissy's question, that video, Mrs. Birdie on birdiebombshell.com has been uploading the Hive Mind finds. She's also been trying to email the people if your Hive Mind find is chosen before the stream, depending on when she's able to, or if she's able to check out the slides prior. So that will be on birdiebombshell.com. I'm trying to figure out if she's also going to do it to Discord. I don't know if it'll be at both places. It might slowly transition just to being in the Discord full time. And Phoenix, I'll let you finish your point real quick. And then I had planned on breaking down that DoorDash driver video. However, I've been going now for 2 hours, and I did a 2-hour show earlier with Kelly Patterson, did you tune into that?
I did. I saw part of it. I was goofing around in the house and I thought I was just listening in. I thought it was really good. So when are you going to have her on?
So
July 8th?
Yep. July 8th, Kelly Patterson is going to be on this stream. I'm going to That's a Tuesday, 7 p.m. normal time. I'm gonna probably that week before, so after the 4th of July, I will have in the Discord, and then also you guys can email me the questions you want me to ask Kelly. She was, when I tell you that, if you've ever heard the quote unquote conspiracy theories that the elite traffic people, she lived it, everybody.
Hey, they just saved 109 children in Texas yesterday. So
Yeah.
you have to know what to look for. I was just baffled by some of the things that she shared.
Well, and I hope I hope she's okay with me repeating this from what she said, but there is just to give you guys a glimpse of the level of eliteness. She said this person's name and said that it's okay to say because they're no longer alive. And I'm just going to repeat what she says, and we'll obviously talk about it. But to give you guys a glimpse of how high of a level she was involved at, if you guys have ever heard the name Henry Kissinger, I will leave it at that. Mind-blowing. Yep. I will leave you all with this. This one sent a shiver down my spine. Okay, Phoenix, this is wild. All right, this is the Netflix algorithm assassin theory. The premise is that every time you are watching Netflix or Hulu or whatever, but specifically this example is about Netflix, you're being scored, profiled, and sorted by a behavioral AI model that's connected to a global network of predictive contracts as far as human behavior. Now, there's an alleged DARPA, Amazon, Netflix collaboration where your viewing patterns are used to predict future dissenters, mark high-risk narrative threats, and simulate how you'd respond to trauma, resistance, or propaganda. Some examples of how it works are if you skip intros, you're impatient. If you rewatch serial killer episodes, you're flagged for obsession markers. Turn it off during the government corruption parts, you're a low-risk normie. Binge whistleblower docs at 3 a.m., you're a tier 1 threat. You combine that with location data, smart TV mics, and emotional AI from eye tracking and pixel pulses that happen when you watch these shows. Netflix becomes the mirror and the judge. The kicker is that this is the part that sent a freaking shiver down my spine, chat. The rumor is that there's a few high-profile whistleblowers who were quote-unquote accidentally recommended docuseries about people who were like them that died within days of them being killed.
Oh my
Some
gosh.
say that it was the algorithm. Others say it was a warning. So you got to ask yourself, why is every show about unsolvable crimes and corrupt institutions now only produced by 3 companies? Why does Netflix release exactly what's needed to calm public outrage right before trials or leaked files? And are we watching the content, or is the content in a way watching us? It's crazy to think about. And the whistleblowers, there was 2 people that apparently their algorithm on Netflix, like whatever recommended for you, they were whistleblowers within 48 hours. Like their whole recommended for you on Netflix was whistleblower documentaries.
Oh my God, I believe it. It's just as bad as the algorithm. Now we're being watched by our TV like everyone said we would 20 years ago.
I mean, dude, could you imagine if you blow the whistle on something and then all of a sudden you're Netflix, you're about to go to bed, and it's just nothing but documentaries about whistleblowers who were killed?
Oh. Reminds me of the Twilight Zone. You watch a documentary and then bam, you're next.
I mean, it's just so crazy. It's so
that
crazy.
Is scary. Well, that's just like, Amazon having the contracts with the government to house all their software, all their intel. And yet Amazon is a huge player in AWS. And when you start thinking about it, they're a huge entity to have all our secrets in their cloud, in their storage.
Phoenix, see, now my brain's going down these rabbit holes. Have you guys ever heard, like, there's no such thing as a private conversation?
Absolutely.
And Crystal says there's literally a Black Mirror episode on this. Black Mirror is wild. Okay.
I've only seen a few of those.
Some of them just trip me out.
So if you watch them all, then what are you?
Well, apparently everybody in this chat has probably watched the Idaho 4 documentaries, maybe watched the Ted Bundy documentary, maybe watched the Gabby Petito documentary, maybe watched American Murder, the Chris Watts, the other 900 true crime cases. We've probably messaged the other gender on Instagram. Phoenix, we might be serial killers. And especially if you work out and you hit the gym, you are a tier 1 threat, everybody. You're bettering yourself. You're studying serial killers. And you are trying to get a date or meet the opposite gender. Firing squad for you.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if you throw in there a little shooting range practice and a little bit of night driving skills, and we are up a shit creek with no paddle?
We are cooked. We are fully cooked.
So cooked.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Phoenix, thanks for popping up. The podcast that I was just on with Kelly Patterson, Surviving the Truth, 1382. Her book is on Amazon. I am not plugging it because I get anything out of it. It was just streamed on their channel. I just think that what she's trying to do is absolutely incredible. And the guts that it takes to speak out about that is extremely, extremely hard to do, I'm sure. So I just want to make sure that I am doing my part to help spread the word about something, the number 2 crime in America, number 1 crime in the world, how it looks today and how modernized it's become to traffic people is sickening, to put it bluntly. So I will, if you guys are asking how to join the Discord on my channel, if you go over and you click more by links, it says join the Hive Mind. The link is here. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Sleep good. Cheers. Thanks, Phoenix.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.